Go, Jimmy!
Huh? What are you doing? I'm doing an interview.
For what?
Don't worry about for what, Sarah.
What are you doing here?
I'm just doing an interview.
She's homeless, dude. Don't worry about her.
With
Sarah,
Interpol.
get on somewhere.
Did you check in with
Get
Interpol?
on somewhere.
Did you check in with Interpol too?
Get on somewhere.
Did you?
You fisting to
Or
go to
US,
jail.
No, I'm not. I went to fucking
Get on
US Customs,
somewhere.
dude. You go somewhere.
Who was Interpol?
Interpol.
Don't worry about her. She's just a crackheaded homeless
That's
person.
what you say.
Keep on.
Find you.
Sarah,
Find you. You're not my husband.
get on.
Get your teeth fixed.
Get
So I can
on.
get mine back.
Get on. Or I will fuck you up.
Come home.
I'll fuck you up, bitch. You better come. You don't want to piss me off. I promise you that, bitch. You wait till I go down the road and finish with this interview at my job. I'm gonna fuck you up. That's on my mama. You better keep walking, cause by the time I count to 10, I'm gonna beat your ass. That's on God, on this property. I swear to God, if you don't keep walking a little quicker, I'm gonna beat your ass. You came up here starting shit. Bitch, I'll hurt you. You better shut the fuck up. Don't fuck with me, Sarah. On my mama, don't fuck with me.
Hey, come on. We good. She gone.
I don't play with, I was defending you, bro. That's a homeless crackhead. She's on dope. She's
Oh.
crazy. Hey,
What was
I
you
was
talking
defending you too, bro.
I appreciate it, man.
I ain't gonna let nobody fuck with you, home.
I appreciate it.
I'm gonna bust a bitch up over you, home.
Come
You're
on,
like
let's
a
start,
brother
let's
to
start. We
me.
ready, we
I'm
ready.
sorry I done that.
No, you good. That was good.
That bitch, you see that?
She
don't
was finna
play.
keep fucking with
They
me
don't.
too,
They,
wasn't
she's trying to fuck with you. That bitch is. The bitch won't play with me, man. This is none of your business. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we scared
I'm
for a
sorry.
minute.
I'm sorry, brother. I got your back, bro. Ain't gonna
Okay,
let
man.
nobody fuck with you, man.
All right, man.
Guess what? You can have her arrested, your license, and bonded for this shit.
They don't come out here. All
You
right,
can
this
have
is
her.
we ready to start, man. This is Jew Man Visual. Who I'm talking to today?
Hey, my name is Gage Harris. I'm 31. I was originally raised in Mobile, Alabama for half my life up to the age of 7 and 8. I was raised with my mama pretty much my whole life. My daddy, my real daddy, left me at the age of 3. The only thing I remember is my daddy beating up on my mama when I was young, you know. Till this day, I don't hit women, you know. I believe in walking away. I've been through struggles with that. When I was 10 years old, I moved to Pascagoula, Mississippi, in Moss Point, and pretty much half my life I've been in Pascagoula and the other half in Alabama. I met my stepfather that's in my life now. He was in the military for Navy for 25 years. My daddy gets a retirement check on that. My mom was raising 2 other my little brothers. My little brother's 19 now, has a kid, and at the age 31, I just turned 31 May 2nd this month, and I thank the Lord because I've been out here on these streets 10 years willingly and sometimes I was kicked out at home. You know, there was times my mom and daddy, pretty much, they're alcoholics. They drink a lot, and when I was little, my daddy used to kick me off and on the streets. And when you get treated like that, you pretty much get used to that life. And I don't find it easy. I thank God every day that I've been out here, because there's been every day that I've been in the struggle. Okay.
So when did you first start getting into trouble?
I've been in trouble since I was 13. At the age of 13, I got put down royal. We was labeled Ditsy Mafia. We roll with the gangsters, the GDs. The GDs started in Chicago under Larry Hoover, the president of the GDs. We got our name from a royal park over there in Chicago. The story is on that there was 6 royals walking down the road in Chicago City Park, and they were formed up, and they were walking down the road. They seen some G's and they asked to unite with them. They went to Larry Hoover, and it went from Chicago all the way down here to Mississippi. And originally, all the Royals and the G's are in prison. Just about 1 out of 100% of your inmates and convicts that under gang affiliation between any gang, really, LK, AB, Vice, Lower Blood, Crip, G, Royal. It don't really matter what you is. One out of, I say, 80% ends up back in prison or ends up dead.
So what was the first crime you committed that you got locked up for?
Actual felony.
Yeah.
I didn't commit a felony until I was 18, 19. I broke in my buddy's house, which was a Burgill and occupied dwelling. He stole my some things of mine that I worked for growing up in the neighborhood, you know, pushing a lawnmower, and I took it another level and went in his house and stole my stuff back, and I got in trouble for it. So they charged me with burglary on occupied dwelling because the parents were home. I knew what I was doing righteously, and I should have called the law. But, you know, the way I grew up, you don't call the police. You know, snitches end up dead in ditches. And I took it another level, and I just got off parole, you know, 2 years ago.
Parole?
I got 25 years hanging over my head right now if I commit another felony crime. I ain't seen prison wall in 2.5 years. I've been upstate 9 times between probation and parole. I didn't ever want to pay. I didn't ever want to show up. Go hanging out with friends, drugging and thugging, you know. I got hooked on spice when I was young. Really started whenever they were selling it in the head shops around here.
Like incense when it was like, yeah.
Synthetic marijuana, yeah, and it led to smoking it to actually couldn't let go of it, and I've been doing it now 12 years.
Is it hard to find now? Cause I haven't seen nobody with it.
It's not hard to find. You just got to know folks.
What's the different prisons that you went to?
I went to 5 different prisons here in the state of Mississippi: Parchman, Greene County, Rankin County's a processing prison, Wickerson County, and George County Regional.
Which one is the worst?
All of them.
I always heard that Parchman was the worst because of the living conditions.
That, and, you know, it's the guards too, what they feed you. And it's not doing time behind the walls that kills you. It's really the inmates that make your time hard. The ones that come in and, I want to go home, and I tell them real quick, man, you got here, you put yourself here. Now do the time and do what you got to do when you get out and don't come back. It took me 9 times to learn. Well, I've been locked up most of my life since I was 13 for the choices I made. And if I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have made the choices I made. I knew God my whole life, and speaking on that, this church that I'm sitting here right now, you see the scars right here. There's some stitches right there. 22 metal staples holding my arm together because I got into it with this homeless girl's ex-boyfriend, and this was back in 2021, something like that. And he kept beating her. And I told him, you do that on your own time. You know, I had my mama beat when I was young, and quite frankly, it brings back memories when I was a kid. And I told him, if you got to get to that situation, that's anybody in this world. If you got to get to the level to where you got to hit a woman, from my experience, the people who's watching this video, it's best to walk away. Because it's not because a woman wins. It's because the choices we make leads to the consequences. And I know buddies right now that's got 3 domestic violences and in prison right now doing 25 to 30 years. It's not worth it. Well, that's in the state of Mississippi. So back to the story whenever I was right here. So this has been going on with my girl's boyfriend for over a year, and I felt the vibe with him every time he sees me. He gives me that look. You know, they say when they give you that look, the killer's eyes, they look at you a certain way. You know you ain't got right vibe with somebody, and you know you don't feel right. Your intentions tell you to move on. Well, this night that I got stabbed, I should have moved on. It was around 8:45. I don't remember what day it was, but I remember it like it was yesterday. I woke up with the girl's boyfriend hovering over me, and I've been, like I said, I've been to prison 9 times. That messes up a person's head. You know, you can't, certain people, you can't just hover over them a certain way or they just take offensive to it. So I woke up, asked him why was he doing that. Words led to us arguing. The girl got into it with him. They started arguing. He pulled a knife out. I blacked out. My buddy pipe welded a piece of chain like this to a pipe, and I took the pipe and I swung it at him. Wham! When I hit him, blood was going. It looked like fatality on Mortal Kombat.
So you hit him?
Oh, I hit him hard. I hit him right there. In that spot right there. I bled out right here where I'm sitting, but right here by this bench. I won't forget it. And when I hit him, he said, "That's all you got?" And he pulled a knife, just to hit me with it, and I hit him again, bam! And when I did, he hit me right here. I didn't feel the pressure, the blood coming out till about maybe, I don't know how much time went by, but I know I went down quick. I remember, man, I've always wanted to know who God was. And that was the day I seen the Lord with my own 2 eyes. You know, people say the Lord's black, he's white, he's Puerto Rican. They're wrong. His name is Jehovah, and he's a spirit with brown hair, blue eyes, the crown of thorns over his head. And when the Romans had crowned him to death, and he still had whip marks on him, he still had his robe on him with nails in his arms, and he told me, "My child, I'm just not ready. It's not your time to go." They say in the ambulance I was out for a 20-minute outer body experience is what they said. And when I woke up, they were handcuffing my enemy.
He didn't try to hit you again after he stabbed you the first time?
No, I think it surprised him, like stunned him. He probably thought about it, but then when I hit him again, that's when it triggered him. I had to smoke a cigarette because thinking about that situation that night. When he stabbed me though, bro, I hit the ground, okay? My same enemy that stabbed me was holding my arm. He was saying, "It's okay. It's all right, brother. I got you. I'm not going to let you die." I told him, "Just let the freaking blood out. Just, I said, what do I got to live for?" And to this day, I kept thinking about it. And it took me a while to relapse that I got stabbed for God. I got stabbed so I can realize who the Lord really is, and with my own eyes. And for people out there who's had enemies that say you've been shot, you fought somebody in school, if you have any hate over any person by any means, I'm gonna tell you how this played out. I went to jail for about a month and a half, 2 days after I got stabbed. I'm in the jailhouse. They ain't giving me no medical attention. Temperature's messing with my arm. It got to where I couldn't even do this physically and mentally. Doctor told me I wouldn't use my arm for a year. I kept praying to God, and I said, "Lord, you got this. I know you're real. I seen you in heaven. You send me back. Hell, I'm a dead man talking." Excuse me. I said, "You got this." So I sat in jail 30 days, got out. Come to find out, my boys on the street, like I said earlier in this video, I was put down Royal SCR. I roll with the G's, so my brothers were on the side of me, securing me for security key position and making sure I'm okay. And that same guy that stabbed me, he was walking up maybe 2 or 3 foot ahead of me, and I said, my boys were about to jump him, you know. I said, whoa, it's between me and him. Me and that man up there. Ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Y'all stand down. All right, brother. I go over to him. He shakes my hand. He says, "I'm sorry. I forgive you."
So how did you come about getting all of the tattoos on your face? Cause look, I know you kind of scared.
Some of them are for lost family members, and some of them represent patches of the gang. You know, each patch stands for something we have to earn. You know, like we got 3-point crown, 6-point star. We got crosses. You know, we got certain patches for certain means. You know, it can't just be, some of them can't just be free put on. You have to earn most of them in prison.
You get a good view of them. You got something under your hat? And you saying you earned every one of them?
Yes, sir.
You got them all in jail?
Most of them in prison.
Was you worried about the effects of the tattoos? Like, you know, everybody really scared of you around here in Pascagoula. I'm sure you notice, like, if you ask for money or walk up to people's cars, they initially scared of you.
Well, let them think that. Because at the end of the day, I'm a man for anything, is what I tell them. And they can have that thought process. At the end of the day, they're going to deal with God. Because in the Bible, it says, don't judge a man as if I won't judge you, or something like that. I used to get offended by that. When I first got out of prison, I got all the dirty looks in the world. You know, people say, what possessed you to do that? What made you do this? You know, I really can't tell them, but, you know, I tell them if you're going to go by that and not go by the heart or the personality, then you got problems with God. Because the way I was raised, man, you walk like in churches, some of them hypocrites. Come in as you are. You know, the way I grew up, person needs something to eat. You know, your hungry neighbor, you need some sugar, you need some bread. And that's how our community was. Like, today, these kids around here, they're going around robbing, they're going around stealing, you know, getting in trouble with the law. I get in trouble. I'm out on bond right now. Out on 6 charges right now, actually.
I might have to get you to take that paper off. It's going to be rattling the whole interview.
Yeah, it quit raining, yeah.
Good.
So, life went on. You know, I'm 31 now. At the age of, I say, 25, I met this girl. And I forgot to mention this. I was on probation then, and 10 years non-adjudicated. I met this girl at Salvation Army. We don't have a Salvation Army here because years ago, they were saying they were running out of funds, but I think the ones who were funding that place were stealing the money donated. So
I remember you saying that.
So it was open at this time, and I met this girl, and I fell in love with her, man. I checked her out and everything the first day. I went home. I'm fresh out of prison for like a week, and my mind wasn't really focused on women. I was all about always getting out, making money, getting high, you know, going and partying, man, you know. Every now and then I call mama. She say, son, I'm worried about you. Where you been? First question she asked, you been in jail? You dead? You know, a normal mama would tell their son, you at your friend's house. But like I said, you know, we all make mistakes, but the mistakes that we make in life you can correct them, man. There's always a time to change, and it takes time. It don't take overnight. You know, this life ain't easy. Like I said, back to the story when I was with this girl. So I went to the dollar store, and she has a friend with her, and there's another guy, and the girl's from Russia originally. The girl's family got murdered by the Russian mafia, and she got transported here, adopted in Atlanta, Georgia, by another rich family that didn't like me, because I guess, you know, like they say in the Bible, the rich overlooks the poor. Mm-hmm. And that's very well true. Me and this girl gets together. I take her out to eat. We're together on the street for about a month. The girl got here because she met a guy on Facebook that beat her, and she get a check every month, and the guy took her money, and she left and went on the streets not knowing nobody around here. So I took to heart And at the time, I was 25 and I think she was 20. Me and a girl always had a 5-year difference. And a month and a half goes by, I didn't report in probation, and I told her, I said, let's go to Georgia. She said, ain't you gonna report to your PO? I said, no, I ain't reporting nowhere. I said, they want me bad enough, they'll get me. And at that age, I was still wild and out, you know. If I knew what I knew now, you know, I would have never did the things I've done, man. I owe $50,000 in fines here.
Yeah.
Because my misdemeanor record is, and it's not because I choose to get in trouble. You got these cops around here, they pick on homeless, I believe, and they don't believe in that here because this state's 50 years retired, you know, old retired state, the way they run things. But back to the story on that girl. I told her, I said, let's go to Georgia. She said, okay, well, you ain't worried about that, the probation. I said, no. My daddy and mama dropped me and her off the rest area at Welcome Center in Alabama. He says, all right, here's your $50, here's just a little bit of food, and that's all I got. All right, so we walked 7 miles. Because I've already done asked tourists coming in and out, can we get a ride, you know. I had even pulled my pockets out because I look like type's gonna rob you. And I even say, look, bro, I ain't got no gun and none of that. I ain't got none of that on me. Now, I ain't going that way, you know. I get negative looks. And I told my girl, you know what, forget it. Let's just go start walking, you know. For real. I said, yeah. I said, we ain't that security gonna run us off sooner or later. So we walked from that first rest area to the first exit. And it seemed like years it took. Get there and we're stuck there 2 days, you know. No food, no water, money runs out. $50 went by quick having a pregnant woman. You know, you can do it by yourself. It's easy, but so she asked me how we gonna make money. And I told her, I said, well,
I kind of hurry up.
You can make a sign and I'll put you out there and you can make a couple dollars here and there, but I'll sit back and make sure you're all right. After that, about 30 minutes to an hour goes by, she makes about $100, and a white woman pulls up in the van, asks us, we need a ride. We get a ride 2 exits down. We're struggling again, stranded.
Well, how did she make the money?
She held a sign saying she's pregnant, she needed food, and we was using the money to get a bus ticket really out of town, and we had to come up with something because telling people you want a bus ticket and they're not gonna believe it, you know. So we get to that 2 exits down. We come up to this fire station and I'm out of breath. I'm about dying of thirst, you know. And the guy said, the sergeant, whoever's over that fire station, and the name of the county was Baldwin County, Alabama. And last time I went to that county was when I was a kid. You know, like I said, I was originally from Mobile. And he said, you mind how may we help you? I told him, I lied and said, look, man, really I was on the run with this girl, trying to get her back home. I lied to him and said a tree service, I worked for a tree service up north, and they dropped me off here to do some work, and they left me, and I ain't got no money, and I'm trying to get back home to Georgia. It worked. They ran my name, but the thing is, I had an Alabama ID. I went and had one made before I even made that trip, and I had a Mississippi backup ID where I was originally from 10 years after, and they gave us a ticket. They said, all right, here's a megabus ticket. We're going to send you to the Greyhound. When we get there, man, we're like, how do we get on the bus? Well, the ticket guy said we need a confirmation code. We called the sheriff. And I said, damn.
Yeah, hurry up. The members caught from the
So, make long story short, we get to Georgia and everything. I was on the run there for almost a year. And I was at Walmart one day, and they run my name, and I ended up going to prison for 2.5 years, get out on parole. I've been out on parole 2 years now. Like I said, I've been on the streets almost 10 years. And because my daddy worked at shipyard here at one time, now he's retired veteran, my family's money went kind of low throughout the years, you know, and my mama's raising 8 people in a household, so I kind of choose to be homeless because I don't want to eat my family's food and everything like that, and I want to be able to do this on my own. But for the folks who do have family that's watching this video, please do what it takes to do right, because these streets ain't worth it. And if there's kids out here watching this video, please listen to your family and follow God. Keep your prayers up, and the struggles that you're going through, always keep your head up, man, because there's never another day that could change your life. God, I don't mind answering them. Hell.
Okay, so what was you saying earlier about the police won't let y'all hang out at the parks anymore?
Well, it started when the Salvation Army shut down, that we can't even hang out at the parks, hell. And the reason why, because you got people who shoot needles, and they'll turn around and use a needle, and I seen it with my own eyes. Like one day, I was sitting outside the park by the bench where they do skateboarding and stuff. One of my friends put a needle in his arm and threw it on the ground. And I told him, I said, the next one you throw, I said, I'm gonna shove it down your fucking throat. He said, what? I said, kids pick that up, puts it in their mouth, and I see one do it. I said, I'm coming after every one of y'all that shoot needles. That's the main reason why. And the homeless kept trashing the parks up. Like, they really have no home training. Like, you would think they grew up, you know, wash dishes, clean up after yourself, you know. The way I grew up, my daddy being in the military, and
let me ask some more questions before you get to going into the stories. Hold on. When most homeless people are asking for money, is it really for food, or is it most of the time for drugs?
About 80% of the time, to be honest, drugs. I mean, it depends on that person. Like me, I'm homeless. You see, brand new Nikes. You know what I'm saying? I do drugs too, you know what I'm saying? But my priorities come first. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And what I do for a living is I clean windows. It's a legit hustle. They do it in New York City, they do it in Atlanta, they do it in the big cities.
So you ain't asking for something for nothing?
No, I'll come up to you and say, hey, sir, can I clean your windows for something to eat? Or if you say, what are you going to do with the money? I'm going to be honest with you and say, I need some drugs. I need something to go to sleep.
So when the people that be outside and they have dogs and stuff, is that like a gimmick? Is that like something that they do, just I'm going to get a dog or something like that?
Some of them are like that, but like the girl that I know that's homeless around here, she don't do it for a gimmick. She loves animals. I'm an animal lover too. I just lost six dogs within 2 months.
Isn't it kind of too much to be homeless and then take on an animal at the same time?
It depends on how that animal takes it. It depends on how you treat that animal.
Is there like a beef going on between some of the homeless people in Pascagoula? Because I know one time I tried to feed the homeless, and the homeless people that's behind the social club didn't want to hang with the people that's around there about their gas station. You know what I'm talking about? It's a gas station.
It's a lot of beef because a misunderstanding between somebody owes somebody, or somebody didn't get to hit the blunt. Stupid shit. Somebody might go down the road, get them some dope, and it ain't enough, or they might have think they fucked them over. That's to be real. And most of the fights happen that way. Somebody might be with somebody's girl, and that girl might be fucking around with somebody because they have dope, and she goes to the next guy that has dope, and then that leads to one problem to another. And that's most of your beef out here. The beef ain't about fighting over food. Hell, we can ask anybody for something to eat and get it.
What do y'all exactly get food from? Is it enough people that's...
Our daily bread, but they only feed from Monday through Friday, 11:30 to 1. And I don't eat there. Actually, because I got trespassed there 2 weeks ago because one of the employees told me I can sleep in one of the vans, and I was coming out of the van on a Tuesday morning, got put in handcuffs, and the officer told me, you're under investigation for sleeping in that van. Well, the whole time, the person who owns the place didn't know, and I thought the person who told me there was an employee had permission from that person, and the whole time he was being quiet, fixing to watch me go to jail for some bullshit that I didn't do. and get charged with auto burglary, which I know my rights. I've read the law book. Can't do that. I said, you go in there and you talk to that man and ask him, and he gave me permission. And when they said that, I threw it out the category. That's why I don't eat at Daily Bread, and the people need to know this about Daily Bread. The woman who owns it, she's denied people food. She chooses certain ones she don't want to feed. She trespasses people, sends them to jail. I don't think they're stealing money, but I heard at one time that this place was getting funded chicken, steaks, ribs, and why the hell are they feeding homeless people rice, beans, shit that you would feed somebody in prison every day that I got used to eating for almost 10 years of being a convict to this state. I think this place needs to be investigated, whoever watching the video. I don't know who needs to be called, but the woman who's operating this place, Our Daily Bread, that is supposed to be Christian organization, is taking our money, I believe, and the food that everybody's supposed to really be getting, they're stealing that too, and that ain't right. We got a lot of some messed up things going on in this town. The police pick and choose they arrest. I got over 50 trespassing charges on my record by one officer here that I've been harassed by for the last 9 years. His name is Chabuk something because he's from Germany. McMillan. He's a sergeant here, and I'm not the only one he harasses. He'll come up. He harasses all the homeless around here, and he'll come up to you and tell you, "Didn't I tell you to fucking leave? Didn't I tell you?" Blah 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 blah. I'm sorry for my language, but an officer of the law is not supposed to slanderize nor cuss any citizen of any state in the state of law, and we are getting treated like animals around here. I've been slanderized by the police here of the city of Pascagoula because I'm trying to clean windows and they call it begging.
Do you go to Mars Point, Go Shade? Do you migrate at all?
I don't, because it's too bad over there.
As far as the homeless people?
No, the shootings, the gangs is. I just keep my nose clean from certain areas because who I'm affiliated with, we have beef with red. I'm blue, they're red. There's certain spots that I just don't go.
Do you know where you're gonna sleep at every night? You have a certain spot?
It don't matter. As long as God's beside me, I'm good. I can sleep on top of this roof right here.
So on a rainy day like today, what exactly do y'all do to stay warm? I mean, to stay from getting wet. When it's bad weather, like hurricanes come, where do y'all go?
It's hard to say. I go to jail.
You'll do something intentionally to go to jail?
Yeah. Before I go home and be a burden to my family and eat all their food, which they don't have much to eat, I will go to jail and eat.
What you got to do to go to jail? Or just anything, huh?
I'll just tell a cop, make a charge up before I do something stupid. And I really ain't going to do nothing stupid. I'm just messing with their head, and they'll say, put your hands behind your back. It's happened before.
No, me and you the same age, and I always, even when I was in high school, I kept seeing your mug shots. So you have, how many mug shots would you say you have? You know that newspaper, The Jailer, used to come out, and I always saw your face. You always stuck out. I didn't even know we were the same age. You've been going to jail a long time then.
Well, when I looked up an app called Jailbase Mugshot, it takes a minute to go down and scroll to the next page on a computer system. My pages is over 30 pages long, so you imagine. And the judge showed me a file this thick, and he told me, you've been my friend. One time when I went to court, he said, you've been my friend for a mighty long time, Mr. Harris. I said, why you say that, Your Honor? He said, you've been getting in trouble for almost 12 years. And he said, ain't gonna be, he said, you keep doing what you're doing, there ain't gonna be a day we ain't gonna let you out. You know, people have choices in life, and the choices that we make, I wish the people who's watching this video would take heed to it.
Hold on, let me get some more questions before we go. We finna stop in a minute. Do you, is there like a bully around here? Is there like one person that runs everything that kind of scares up all the other homeless people? Is there like a person that everybody fear around here?
Not really, we all family. We fight, you know, stupid shit, but we
Is it a
all
lot of
come
fights?
together. Huh?
How often do you think y'all fight amongst each other?
It's mainly arguing.
Like what just happened earlier?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because what was that about? Why did she come up here? What's her name?
Her name is Sarah something. The girl's really whacked out on something, I don't know. She's from another state. It was a homeless girl that walked up here and approached my, what do they call you?
Jumaine.
Well, I mean, what would you be labeled as? A programmer doing this?
Journalist.
Well, this homeless person came up to my journalist, and before he started this interview, and the reason why he asked about who this girl was, and I'm telling you now, her name is Sarah. She's from out of state. She was doing drugs. She lost her kids because of drugs. The girl ain't been right since. The girl's been beaten on, all kind of stuff by other homeless. She thinks everybody owes her.
Yeah, because she came up here saying something about I'm supposed to ask her for permission.
Anybody who acts a certain way out of their character needs help by God. You know, there's certain people we can't help in life, but the ones who do need help, we pray for. You got anything else you want to ask me?
About the other homeless lady that be at this store right here, the skinny lady. What was you saying about her earlier?
The one
That knocks on your window, keep asking for change?
Well, we got another homeless lady around here. Her name is Tabitha Ladnier. Some of her family's police, and some of her family sheriff's department. Well, I don't know why if that's the reason why they keep letting her out of jail for the things she's done, but she used to look good back in high school, man. This girl used to be like a 5-star white girl, and she started doing heroin, you know, led from heroin to needles and doing other shit like weed and spice. Oh, for now, she quit the heroin because about a year ago, the same girl you were talking about died right here. And I put her mouth to mouth, and I called the ambulance, and they drug her away, and she quit heroin after being a known heroin addict almost 10 years, and now the girl's a known spice addict and ice addict, and she'll come up to you and ask you for change, and you
knock on your window?
Knock on your window, harass you. And if you don't give it to her, she'll go crazy. You know, you got your crazies out here, you got your normals. You know, like me in situation, being homeless, I choose to be out here because I have family. I got good family. I just don't want to live off my family. And like I said, some homeless people, I've never said this, they get checks every month. And I don't see why they're out here on the street. Hell, some of them.
It's the lady again?
I don't know. Hell, some of them, they get checks coming in. Most of it goes to drug dealers.
What's the most popular drug around here for the homeless?
Spice and ice.
Who do the ice come from?
Fentanyl.
You
I don't know. It's coming from Mexico or something like that. I believe the government released it to the streets to kill off homeless. We've had 8 homeless die on fentanyl, and there's been no investigation made by Pascagoula PD here.
None?
None.
I want to ask you that. Do y'all be dying back here and it don't get reported?
It don't get reported. They don't care.
Even it's like murders, you think?
I wish I can have recordings of some of the cops that's told me that if it's our choice, we'll ship y'all off and you never come back. Like, man, there's some sorry officers out here. The law don't care about us. They say that our best home is the ADC, which is the Adult Detention Center County Jail here.
So when you leave here today, do you know where you're going?
Don't care, as long as I'm living.
How do you go through life every day like without having any money?
I got God in my heart. I know I'm gonna make it. God said I won't put more on you than what you can't bear. Genesis.
Have you ever had a job?
No.
Dang. Never had a job.
But with God, you don't need no job. He's got you. You gotta put it within Him right here.
So what stops a homeless person who really has nothing that would prefer to kind of be in jail because you got somewhere to stay, you got somewhere to eat? What kind of stops them from like doing major crimes like murder?
I can't say. I can't judge the next man's mind. I can only judge what I do. And who I hang with, keep one eye open and keep your enemies close, but keep your enemies closer, brother. That's all I got to tell you. I really can't tell you that because I don't know what goes through their mind, man. I can only go what my mind goes through. It's hard to read people nowadays, you know.
All right, so is there anything you want to say to the citizens of Pascagoula that's scared of you really because of the tattoos? Because I actually seen the other day you had went to that store and that guy ran you off at that new clothing store down there. That's what kind of made me want to interview that day. So what do you want the people to know about you so they won't be so scared of you and won't judge you by the tattoos?
That, I mean, even though I do have family, I don't want to live off my family at 31. I know I'm out here on the street willingly, but I want a career cleaning windows, cleaning businesses. I'm trying to get licensed and bonded, but, I don't have actual help but God.
Are you able to say your real name so I can look it up, so I can look up the mug shots?
Gage Harris, Lexington. It ain't gonna show you all of them. The computer ain't gonna update on all the mug shots. I can promise you that. I got so many of them.
Spell it.
Gageharris.
Gage Harris and what?
Harris. Gage Harris.
Harris or Harrison?
Harris.
Gage Harris.
Uh-huh.
One more thing. You were saying that you rap. What's your rap name?
Joker.
And that's your street name?
That's my gang name.
What's the beat you wanted me to put on? You said
Put it on Money
Brazen?
Bag Yo type beat. Run the game.
All right. You said run the game?
Yep.
That's it?
That's it. So wait till the beat comes on. I'm in the streets, I'm struggling, man. I'm trying to clean windows, I'm trying to do what I can, bro. I'm out here, I'm thanking God for another day. Can't fuck with me, bro. The Pascagoula keep on throwing me in jail for the charges I committed. I just ask God for forgiveness, man. Yeah, I'm from Bama, bro. 251 is what I say. Roll Tide is with my pride. Yeah, I do this every day. I'm out here trying to get this money. I'm out here on the grind, dog. I'm tired of living this way. I need to ask God for forgiveness, man. Yeah, let me bring it back just a little bit. Yeah, I'm out here homeless, bro. I've been doing this shit 10 years. Yeah, I ain't new to shit. I stay true to this shit. Yeah, I just want to tell the others about my struggle. Yeah, if you ever been through this, yeah, it's time to make a change, dog. Yeah, thank God for another day. I just thank God I'm his child, yeah. Thank God I've been living since day one, yeah. I've been put down against since I was 13, bro. You don't make bad choices, make good choices, bro. If it can lead to bad decisions, yeah.
All right.
Go, Jimmy!